Well, we'll let somebody else.
Yeah, I don't want
somebody
to.
else's
You're right. I
time.
don't want to chew up your time. We'll get
but-
that answer someday.
But I do appreciate the gentlelady's inquiry. I want to thank the chair of the subcommittee, the full committee, the ranking members of the subcommittee and full committee for the work that they put in, staff as well for the work that they've done. Just a few quick points. I share questions and concerns about some of the aspect of the ATF cuts and the Attorney General's testimony about combining ATF and DEA. I have my doubts as to how successful that would be or how beneficial it would be, but those are statements that she made here. She also made a commitment during her testimony here to not reduce funding for the NIBIN piece, and I think that's very important, and I appreciate the fact that my colleagues are going to help us keep an eye on that as well. With respect to the overall Department of Justice, FBI, Mr. Patel testified here. He testified roughly that he had a need for 2,400 more spots than what was provided in the president's bill. And the next day he changed that testimony in the Senate. I have my doubts about the change of heart that happened overnight there. My gut is that they're going to need the spots that he was initially requesting. So I'm hoping that we can keep an eye on that going forward because I think it's a critical time for the FBI. My colleague from Texas, I saw on television over the weekend, and I think the statement he made was about making sure that we focus our immigration enforcement on the most violent people out there. And I wanted to say I agree with that position with respect to the ICE enforcement. To the extent they're peeling off FBI agents to do work on any of those kinds of issues, I'd urge us to take a very close look at that and make sure they're not overdoing it because we have other criminal justice needs. We've got, for example, the Sinaloa cartel and others. They're creating problems here in the United States. So I hope that we can have a focus that isn't totally dominated by the immigration issue, but also looks at some of our other criminal justice needs as well. With respect to the, I'll call it the brain drain issue, my colleagues from Virginia and Alabama, I know they have NASA assets in their district, as I do in mine. I think one of the things that the United States really needs to keep in mind is that we're in a neck-and-neck race with China right now. And I think as a nation, we're doing things that undermine our ability to maintain. I think we have supremacy at the moment, but I think we're putting things at risk. And it goes beyond simply this bill, for sure. But I think making sure that we continue to invest in assets like NASA, assets like NSF, assets like the educational piece that helps us produce the talent that can do this work to help us keep ahead, I think is critical. And lastly, I'll mention the Department of Justice overall. I served in the Department of Justice for 4 years. This isn't in this bill either, but the termination of, I believe it was 20, the DOJ prosecutors who were involved in the prosecutions of the January 6 people, I thought was completely over the line, not just unethical, but perhaps illegal. And I think it's important for us to make sure, I know there were hard feelings about things going on under the Biden administration at the Department of Justice for my colleagues on the other side. And we've got our concerns now, but I think we all need to come together and find a common ground where we can say that the Department of Justice has to be insulated from politics, especially right now, because it's undermining their ability to do the job in the right way and in a way that maintains the rule of law and supports our efforts to fight crime and maintain or re-earn the trust of the American people. So I want to thank again the chairs and the ranking members for their work on this, and I yield back.